I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about she is never coming back.
Oh no.
I know it.
How do you know?
I know it's going to...
How do you know?
No, my ex is the one that's never coming back. Your ex is going to come back, and everybody else watching this video, but not mine.
All right, let's hear it.
It's what everybody feels like, right?
Yeah.
Everybody is so convinced their ex is going to be the one that never comes back. I've heard it so many times over the years. Believe me, I know what it feels like. I know many situations feel hopeless, but things can change with time.
Right? And we always think that we are the exception to the rule. You know, a lot of times we think that our situation doesn't count, that our situation isn't a normal one. Maybe it is something that's a little bit abnormal. But our point in making this video is to expand your mind a little bit, expand your options.
Yep. I remember years ago doing a video, 0% hope, that this woman was absolutely convinced beyond maybe anybody I'd ever done calls with that her ex was never coming back. I think we had done, 3 or 4 calls together. It's hard to remember. It was a while ago. Her ex came back, but she didn't do the work. She wound up losing that guy again. But even in that video, 0% hope, and I did a follow-up video, but I don't remember the name of it. She did have an opportunity, okay? So many of you that think that you don't have an opportunity with your ex, you give up on the personal growth, you don't really focus on changing, healing your attachment issues, getting to a good place, and then you wind up regretting it. So always do the work. I really believe that the best mindset is to think you're going to have one more opportunity with your ex. How would you act? How would you prepare if you knew you had one opportunity but you don't know when it's going to happen? I really believe if you have that mindset, it will keep you the most motivated. And if they don't come back, you're still going to blow away anybody else that you meet. So I like that mindset. So let's get to this email. They said, "Hello, I would like to share my success story. Let me first say a big thank you to you, Margaret, and Victoria. I literally binge watched all of your YouTube videos trying to figure out what went wrong, what to do, and more importantly, the work I needed to do with myself. I'm ashamed to say that I couldn't afford coaching sessions, so I was forced just to listen and hope that things would work out, and if not, I would be prepared for something even better in the future."
And that's great. You know, we offer these videos for you all to be able to self-reflect and apply what does apply to your own relationship. So we're glad that we can be helpful to any capacity.
Absolutely. And there's over 1,000 videos you can watch. So get on them.
Right. And while we do offer coaching, you know, it's to whatever you can afford, whatever is helpful to you. We also do have products, workbooks, and I think we sell them individually too.
We sell the workbooks individually.
So if money is an issue, you can always try one, and we have plenty of videos for free too. So we don't try to gatekeep information from you. You know, I know like some people do. We want you to be able to find resources to be able to help out your own situation. So
absolutely.
Nothing to be ashamed about.
No, absolutely not. All right, let's move on here. He said, "I had no idea of attachment styles and so forth. I realized that I am anxious and my partner was seemingly avoidant." Shocker, right? That's what he said. "I tested myself several times and all the results came back the same." Now I do have to say, I am not a big fan of a lot of those online quizzes for fucking know your attachment style. I haven't looked at them recently, but all the ones I've looked at in the past were disappointing and, in my opinion, inaccurate.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's hard to take a written test on something that is so experiential.
Yeah.
You know?
And, you know, the people that are putting out a lot of those tests, many of them don't have any kind of real education or insight in the field, and they're really not qualified to put something like that out there.
Right.
I'm not going to speak for who. I'll tell you after the video. All right. I pieced together that she was a dismissive avoidant, but without testing or credible professional diagnosis, I could only assume that this was the case.
And I also want to be clear that attachment styles aren't diagnoses.
Yeah.
So this is not something that's in the DSM, which is our diagnostic manual, in which, you know, we diagnose people from as clinicians. So I want to be clear about that. Attachment styles, it's more about the way that you connect with people, the way that you relate with people, and that attachment rather than a diagnosis or some sort of disorder or condition.
Exactly. It's just, but it does give you a very accurate understanding of how people will operate in a relationship.
Exactly. It's more descriptive in that way.
Okay. She ghosted me, and I didn't know what to do, but after these realizations came, I went straight into no contact and began working on myself. I began to think, you know, she is never coming back.
And never is in caps.
It is. And on day 66, she came back, and like avoidance do, like nothing ever happened. I just put out a short recently about what they're dying to tell you. I think that was the name of it. How avoidance come back, and a lot of times they start telling you everything that's been going on since the breakup, and you're getting all kinds of information that you'd only gotten little tidbits by stalking their social media for months.
Yeah. It's wild how that happens.
It's common.
Yeah.
I'm taking it slow as I have much more work to do on myself and work on the harder parts of handling an avoidant, which takes a lot of patience and a lot of emotional self-control. It is not easy to do. Obviously, some avoidants are more extreme than others. Not everybody is the same avoidant, right? It's like a spectrum. You could be extremely avoidant. You could be a little bit avoidant. So depending upon that person, you're going to have more issues and symptoms.
Right. And I would also say framing it more as in managing your anxiety too. You know, because labeling it as managing the avoidant, it's almost like you're tiptoeing around them and trying to make them comfortable and okay. You know, focus more on what are your needs, how are those needs being met, what are more of your wants, how you negotiate, how you communicate, how your anxiety is manifesting. So think of it in those terms too.
Good point. All right, a little bit more here. These were some very difficult, dark days I went through. Probably, and most likely, would have never reached this impossible goal if it hadn't been for you. I subscribe to your channel as this is the least thing I could do in appreciation. So the moral to this story is that no contact works. Do the work on yourself so all your efforts are not in vain. And like you said, you will be prepared when that day out of the blue comes. You can share my story if you like, just no names please. I'm still in shock and keep wanting to ask people to pinch me to make sure this has really happened and I'm not in a dream. Thank you all for so much for your help. Without it, I seriously doubt I would have had this outcome. Thanks again.
Wow.
And I won't give his name. Give him a name.
I don't know, let's say, I don't know, Paul.
Paul. Of all the names you had to pick his real name? I'm just kidding.
His real name.
It's not his real name. But it was nice to see the success story. And it's nice to hear another person who's saying, you think no contact is never going to work. you believe it, and then it works. I wish more people came out and admitted, I was convinced no contact wasn't going to work, and it worked.
Yeah, yeah. And I hope too that now that he's in this process of personal growth, understanding more about his attachment style, that this isn't the moment he gives up, that he thinks, okay, success story, done, you know, now we're back in a relationship, I don't have to worry about this anymore. No, I hope that this is the thing that, you know, kicks him into gear even further to say, wow, okay, now we can both work on our attachment style together. You know, and finding ways of supporting his partner and finding ways of feeling supported himself in this relationship. So we love to see it, and I'm excited for the continuation of that relationship to see how things unfold, because there is something really, really, really rewarding about working on relationship skills, working on learning how to empathize, how to really be there for your partner, and having it happen in practice. You know, it's something that's really
feels good.
Yeah, it's healing. It's something that's really beautiful when you're realizing, man, I wouldn't have acted like this months ago or years ago. This is something that's different. And yeah, maybe there's a part of it that's uncomfortable or new, or maybe you don't know if you're doing it 100% right, but there's something about it that feels more secure.
Yep. And it's nice to see another person saying, I thought this wasn't going to turn around. I thought they were never coming back, and the person did. And one of the reasons that I always bring this up is because I see how people lose hope that their ex will ever come back, and then they give up on themselves, and they give up on the personal growth. And I don't want you guys to do that. Your ex may not be talking to you. They may be in no contact. They may look like they never want to talk to you again. Act as if they're going to reach out and you'll have one more chance. Even if they don't, you're still going to heal, get to a good place, and be able to use the healing and the skills to blow away anybody else that you might become attached to.
And I will say that I have never, ever, ever heard a client ever say, I've worked too hard on myself. I should have done less, or I shouldn't have self-reflected, or I shouldn't have, you know, invested in myself in this way or grown emotionally. I've never heard that, but I have heard plenty of times, man, I wish I would have prepared more. Man, I wish I would have, you know, dove in and really worked on some of these issues earlier. Those are things that I have heard.
That's a great point.
It's never too late, and you can never invest in yourself too much. You know, there's no such thing as too much personal growth. Of course, one step at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself and, you know, try to read 50 books tomorrow and put all this pressure to gain all this knowledge and all of these things.
Some people will get the knowledge and they'll go through the thing in like 2 weeks, and I'm like, how are you getting any? There's no way you could possibly. There's 94 videos. How could you? That's impossible. You should be spending 30 minutes a day on it, something like that, something reasonable.
Remember, healing takes time. Remember, process. And all of this counts as the work.
Absolutely. So hopefully this video has been helpful to you. Of course, if you want to get our help personally, you can do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Victoria is also available for Skype coaching.
I'm here whenever you need.
Just click on her name on the top of the website to schedule with her. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.